Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. Ahmadiyya Fact Check Blog. It's June 2025. I got some interesting stuff for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about the Maulvis, the Mullahs. Yeah. We're talking about the Mullahs and the Maulvis. These are the guys, we're going to be talking about. Waffles are served, okay? We're talking about these guys. And how much does it cost? How much does it cost for this guy? You know, he said he doesn't monetize his YouTube channel, and he's like, "Oh, why are you guys monetizing?" But dude, aren't you getting paid? Aren't you getting paid to be here? Aren't you getting paid to make a YouTube channel? So that's what we're talking about. This guy, a bunch of liars. So I just want to start this off with, remember, all these amnesties know it's fake. Don't ever once in your life think they don't know. They know it's a lie. They know Ahmadiyya is a lie. All of these guys, they're gonna defend it. So, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the finances, the UK finances. All right, and I'm gonna do this based on here. Check this out. Here's look. I'm not doing this. Is not a whim. Is this a whim? This is not a whim. This is straight up. I'm gonna tell you some facts, right? That's all I normally work with, anyways, is the facts. You think I would tell anything more than the facts? All right, that's what I specialize in. This is what I tell people to do, is to stick to the facts of the case. But as you know, most of these guys, it's not possible for them to stick to the facts because of their own biases. And I've said this before. I'm a man with less biases, very few biases, and maybe it's impossible for some of these folks to operate as such. Whatever the case is, um, I'm able to operate without any biases. All right. So here we so that's we're gonna go through some stuff here. Okay, I'm gonna need my glasses for that. All right. So, look, and Mulvey already showed up. What's interesting about this guy? He doesn't know anything. Most of these guys don't know anything. All they know is some talking points that they've read, memorized. That's it. That's all they really know. They didn't conduct independent research, which is what you're supposed to do as a Muslim. Muslims are not supposed to believe in something just because an Amdi told you. Just because you went to an istama or a jalsa and you heard something doesn't make it true. You got to double check. If you don't have the ability to double check, then what's the point? I have the ability to double check. I can double check, triple check, quadruple check people's work, their references. In fact, that's the first thing I check. Okay, so one to show the type of stupidity that we're dealing with, and I don't know what country this guy is exactly from, but most likely it's either West African or East. I mean, there's four regions of Africa. Actually, there's more than that, but normally it's like West Africa. But anyhow, let's keep rolling here. So what's the first thing I wanted to highlight? In 2023, 2024, remember the fiscal year ends in like June, I think. So for 2024, it ended about a year ago. And the next report for 2024, 2025 won't come out maybe for like 6 months, right? Let me show you the website where I'm getting all this information from. All right, here it is. So here's the website. Look, this is the charitycommission.gov.uk. All right. And as you can see, for the Ahmadiyya Cough Cough Association United Kingdom, here's the trustees. Okay. And look, you'll notice Muhammad Ibrahim Iklaf is a trustee. All right. And we don't know if this, because look, they shut one of these down. There's two of these now. Ahmadiyya Association United Kingdom. There's two of them. One of them they just shut down because of the tax structure. They didn't like the structure, so they changed it. And there's another one. That's got roughly the same name. I think it's this one that's right here. Look, it even says other trusteeship. So let's just sort of click on it and see who the trustees are over here. All right, and look, there's 39 trustees. So maybe this is the old one, and he was one of the trustees. So don't think Ibrahim Iklaf is a volunteer or something. He's got, look, it's right here. He's got financial interest, and he was a trustee since June 2020. All right, and then there's also like a page two. Okay, so these guys, everyone on these lists are important to monitor, to watch. You'll see Sultan Loni. I don't know who that is. Masroor Ahmed. Who is that? And why has he been a trustee since 2011? Right? We don't know who these people exactly are. Okay, some of them we do know. All right. Look, one of the kids of Bashir Ahmed Orchard, who was one of the first Irish imams, Molvis of the Ahmadiyya movement. One of his kids, since 2013, has been on here. So let's go back. Okay, so if you were wondering where I got this information from, here's the website, and then 39 trustees in this one. In this one, which maybe it's a new. Oh, it's still showing the same thing. Okay, maybe I need to click back twice. Let's see. Oh, nope, it's the same one. All right. So now I'm sort of getting lost. There it is. There it is. Okay, and this one is 7 trustees. This is where I got the financial information from. Okay, accounts and annual returns, or maybe it was the other one, and this is the new one. So I probably got it from this other website where the old charity used to be at. Okay, so anyhow, where were we? Okay, so they spent 27 million just to make 29 million. What is that about? Why did they spend so much? And here, let me pull that up. So the first thing is how they spend money. They spend all this money, and I think it's on like the last page. So I just scrolled all the way to the bottom here. All right, so let's see. Yeah, you can see it right here. Here's their expenses, notes to the accounts, year end June 2024. Look, they spent 27 million, and the year before that they spent 25 million. And I'll tell you the most interesting one is the headquarters gets the majority, the biggest cut. 10 million went to probably AMJI, Ahmadiyya Jamaat International, right? And then from there, they choose what they want to do with it. Okay, but there's something else on here. Staff salaries, 2.1 million. The Jalsa, y'all see the Jalsa annual? That's almost a $5 million event. Okay, so their biggest event is the Jalsa. The biggest cost is the Jalsa. It's their biggest marketing event. It cost almost 5 million. All right. Property expense is the second biggest cost, 4 million. Well, what's the property expense? What does that mean? Is that maintenance on the property? That's a lie. There's no way it's 4 million. And this is just for properties in the UK. How could it be so much? You know, so there just it cost staff salaries 2.1 million. Annual convention 4.7. That's 6.8 million right there. Property expense 4 million. That's 10.8 million. Maintenance of branches. What is maintenance of branches? Again, property expense. So look, we're looking at $11 million that these people spent on what? What is it spent on? Staff, JOSA, property, maintenance of the property, and then look, another 1.8 million for Jamia. So let's just add the 1.8 to the staff side. So 4 million for their Molvis. Let me pull that up. Let me pull that up. Okay, we'll get to the asylum in just a sec. How much does it cost them for their Molvis? All right, here it is. Here it is. Well, first let me put up the UK JELSA. And let me okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this comment up. Okay, here it is. The UK JELSA costs 4.74 million, and it costs them 4 million to train new Maulvis? That's where the chanda goes. They're not helping the poor. How are they helping the poor? This is a colossal waste of money, but it pays guys like, look, let me see you, let me see, let me show you the guys who are living the good life. Look, Rusty don't lead prayer. He don't lead prayer. He don't lead. None of these guys are leading prayer anywhere. Living the good life. So they're like, how could Ahmadiyya be wrong? We're living the good life. We don't even have to work. These guys aren't even doing manual labor. There's no manual labor. If all you do is lead prayers and give speeches, how is that a job? How is that considered, oh, I'm doing work? That's not work, right? If you ever did some of the things that I've had to do, manual labor, you will know what work is. These guys don't know. They've never worked. They've been living the good life, all right? Let me see what else. So, I showed you guys how much they pay for their Molvies. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's let me take a look again. So let's look at it again. 2.1 million plus 1.8. That's roughly $4 million spent on them to develop their Molvies, to deploy their Molvies, and to get their Molvies to get more chanda out of people. That's what they're paying. These are all, what is it called? Fundraising expenses. So for them to raise funds, they got to spend 27 million. Okay, and they gave 10 million to the headquarters. 10 million for what? What's headquarters going to do with it? What did headquarters do with it? Can anyone show us? No, they're not going to show us. So it doesn't make any sense. So, okay, isn't that their main expenses? So their property maintenance, properties and property maintenance, Molvies and Jelsa. So their own properties, property maintenance, and then look, let's just add hospitality and kitchen. And then miscellaneous. What is miscellaneous? That's like another 2 million. So that's 2 million, 4 million, 5 million, 17 millions wasted. 17 million spent on your properties and your Molovies. Okay? What is the rest of this? Travel, the bleak, meetings, broadcasting, sponsorship. What is this? It's a total waste of money. This is the Ahmadiyya agenda. So what the heck's going on? So, okay, now let's talk about Asylum. So this was also interesting. So remember, there's no persecution. It's all faked. It's all a lie. It's all a total lie. One of the biggest scams on earth. Okay, so let's see. And let me stop sharing. So let's see. On page 15 of the report, there were 522 new asylum cases that were registered. And last year it was just 322. And there were 1,100 new tajneed. There were new members. Where'd they come from? Where'd the other 600 come from? Okay, these aren't converts. These people did not convert. Where did they get 1,000 new tajneed forms from? They didn't say. They didn't say. So all right, let's keep rolling here. And then they talk about how many Ahmadis are paying 10% of their money. Check this out. They gave this stat too. How many Ahmadis are giving 10% of their money? About 9,000 in the UK. I think this number's a lie. There's no way that this number's true. Because they're lying about every number. There's no way that they have that many. And then let's talk about some Tariqa Jadid and Waqfi Jadid, because I think it all goes into the same pot. It's not considered like separate in terms of the accounting here. All right. So let me just because this message is a little bit too long, so let me take some of this out. Let me take the Waqfi Jadid out, and I'll just do it separately. Yeah. Because they said the message was too long. So okay, let me bring this one up. 2.9 million pounds was collected for Tariq Jadid. Is that true? We don't know. We have not a clue. That's what they're reporting. And remember, the books are cooked. You should just know they've cooked the books. All right. Ahmadiyya Jamaat in Scotland has been separated. The Ahmadiyya Jamaat in Scotland is now a separate entity, it seems. I don't know exactly how true that is, but it seems to be true. And here, let me get some of that on the screen here. So, okay, Scotland has a separate entity with the OSCR. All right. Now, total assets. This is an interesting one. How much total assets does the Ahmadiyya movement have in the UK? If they sold everything today, 78 million. Total assets are 78 million, which is an interesting one because I think half of that is Battle Fatou. Okay, let's see what else. I even had the you know what? I'm showing the wrong screen here. I'm showing the wrong screen here. Let me show my just my essay that I wrote, so I just read right off it. Okay, of the 72 million in total assets, Battle Fatou, 35 million, which is like half. Half of the assets of the Ahmadiyya community in the UK is Battle Fatou, which is not even paid off. I don't even think it's paid off. The Ahmadiyya temple in Alton named Hadikatul Maddi, which I don't know if there's a temple there. It might just be a building. That's another 5 million. That's where the Jalsa takes place. Sometimes they move it around. The Ahmadiyya temple in Birmingham, 1.7 million. There's a new site in Bradford, 2.6 million. Okay, the Ahmadiyya temple in Hartlepool is worth $1 million. Jamia is worth 4 million. All right. So here's the breakdown, the full breakdown, and the total is 72 million. Here's all the additional notes. Okay, they put a moratorium on developing or purchasing new property until Battle Fatou is paid off. I don't even think it's paid off. All right. They alleged 40,000 at their Jalsa. That's a lie too. No way that's true. All right. I got the note on the asylum cases. Look, full notes. I got the full notes for you. Come through and check it out. And then let's see. I think that's pretty much all I got. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what they are paying these guys to do. Ruzzy and all these guys are chilling, living. They don't have to work. You think they got to wake up and go do manual labor for nothing and barely be able to pay their bills? No way. These guys have been doing really good financially for years, all off the Ahmadiyya movement, all off the Mirza family. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have. Assalamu alaikum and peace out.